So hello everyone, this is day 4 of Communication Improvement Challenge and today is 7th March. So I have Indian Express explained page with me. So I'm finding two important article on this page. One is Ladakh Article 371 and 6th schedule of the Constitution, and another is why India is building a second rocket launch port in Tamil Nadu. So we will read both article one by one. So let us start with this Ladakh Article 371 article. So, in a meeting with representatives from Ladakh, which has been witnessing protests recently, Union Minister Amit Shah offered to extend Article 371 like protection to the region. Shah is learned to have told the Leh Apex Body (ABL) and the Kargil Democratic Alliance that their concerns related to jobs, lands, and culture would be taken care of, but the government would not go as far as to include the Ladakh in the sixth schedule of the constitution. Okay. So, what is the sixth schedule of the constitution? So, following the repeal of the Article 370 in August 2019 and subsequent enactment of the Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Act 2019, Ladakh has been recognized as a separate union territory without legislature. UTs like New Delhi and Pondicherry have their own legislative assemblies. Ever since the separation, organizations like the ABL and the KDA have demanded that Ladakh be included under 6th schedule. This schedule contains provisions regarding the administration of the tribal areas in the states of Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, and Mizoram. Inclusion under the 6th schedule allow Ladakh to create autonomous district and regional councils, ADCs and ARCs, elected bodies with the power to administrate tribal areas. This would include the power to make laws on subjects such as forest management, agriculture, administration of villages and towns, inheritance, marriage, divorce, social customs. A majority of population in Ladakh belong to scheduled tribe. I think around 95 or 96% of the population in Ladakh belongs to scheduled tribes. So the ADCs and ARCs may also constitute village councils or courts to decide disputes between parties from scheduled tribes and appoint officers to oversee the administration of the laws they enact. In cases where the offences are punishable with the death or more than 5 years of imprisonment, the governor of a state can confer upon the ADCs and ARCs the power to try them under the country's criminal and civil laws. Okay, so this is the power of governor. The schedule also gives ARCs and ADCs the power to collect land revenue, impose taxes, regulate money lending and trading, collect royalties from licenses or leases for the extraction of minerals in their areas, and establish public facilities such as schools, markets, and roads. So, what protections are offered under Article 371? Article 371 and 371A through J provide special provision for specific states, often to give representation to certain religious and social groups, and to allow these groups to exercise autonomy over their affairs without interference from the state and the central governments. Okay, so special provisions under Article 371 would allow protection to be extended to the population of Ladakh while stopping short of widespread autonomy provided to ADCs and ARCs under the sixth schedule. When the constitution first came into force, Article 371 stood alone, requiring the creation of development boards in Maharashtra and Gujarat for certain regions in order to assess their overall development and the need for government expenditure. So, as new states were created, more special provisions were introduced, such as under Article 371A, which contain provision related to Nagaland. Parliament cannot enact laws that affect social, religious, or customary legal practices of Nagas or the transfer and ownership of land without concurrence from the state assembly. Similar protections have been extended to Mijos and from Mizoram under Article 371G. Articles 371B and C allow the creation of special committees in the legislative assemblies of Assam and Manipur. So these committees comprises MLAs elected from tribal areas and hill areas respectively. Special provisions have also been introduced to provide reservations in the Sikkim Legislative Assembly under Article 371F or in in order to protect the rights and interests of the different sections of the population. Notably, the special provisions for Nagaland, Manipur, Sikkim, Mizoram, Arunachal Pradesh 371H and Goa 371J were introduced shortly after each of these states were officially created. If special provisions are introduced for Ladakh, it would be first time that they are introduced for a union territory as opposed to a state. So this is an important thing to note down, that such type of protection under Article 371 were previously available to states only. Now, if Ladakh gets the protection under Article 371, then it will be the first union territory to get this protection. Shah reportedly assured the Ladakh delegation that the government would ensure representation and participation of locals through hill councils, and was willing to provide up to 80% reservation in public employment. So, this is an important article to read. And another important article is why India is building a second rocket launch port in Tamil Nadu despite having one at Sriharikota in the Pulikat Lake in the Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu border areas. So, let us see. Prime Minister Narendra Modi led the foundation stone of the second rocket launch port of the Indian Space Research Organization at Kulashekhara in Thudukudi, Tamil Nadu on Feb 28. Once operational, the launch port will be used for commercial, on-demand, and small satellite launches. So, why does India need a new launch port? With the center's recent policy announcing the opening of the space sector to private players, a sharp rise in the number of commercial launches is certain. To ensure that ISRO's first launch port, Satish Dhawan Space Center in Sriharikota, Andhra Pradesh, is not overburdened with a high number of launches, the space agency has decided to build another facility. Okay, so while Sriharikota will Satish Dhawan Space Center in Sriharikota will be only used for launching bigger and heavy lift-off missions, the Kulashekhara launch port will be used for launching smaller payloads using small satellite launch vehicles. SHAR will also be available for India's big ticket missions to the moon, Venus, the human flight mission Gaganyaan. Private players may develop space qualified subsystems, build satellites, and even launch vehicles at the new launch port. It will also facilitate a dedicated launch infrastructure for all on-demand commercial launches. So, Skyroot Aerospace has become one of the first private space company in India to build its own rocket that is named after Vikram Sarabhai Vikram series. So, why is it located in Tamil Nadu? Like SHAR, the new launch port is also situated in southern India near the equator. It is because for a launch site close to the equator, the magnitude of the velocity imparted due to Earth's rotation is about 450 meter per second, which can lead to substantial increase in the payload for a given launch vehicle. So, more you are closer, the closer you are to the equator, it will be easy for your launch vehicle to uh, build the pace. Geostationary satellites must necessarily be in the equatorial plane. So, for such satellites, the closer the launch site is to the equator, the better it is. According to From Fishing Hamlet to Red Planet, India's Space Journey, a book edited by the former ISRO scientist. Okay. The location of Kulashekhara launch port has more advantages than SHAR for launching smaller launch vehicles. It will allow a direct southward and small launch vehicle trajectory for the lightweight SSLVs carrying less fuel, which will boost ISRO's attempt to enhance payload capacities. Currently, the trajectory followed by the launches from SHAR is longer. The path requires the vehicle to skirt eastward around Sri Lanka before taking the actual southward flight. This consumes additional fuel. Launches from Kulashekhara however, will not burn additional fuel as the launch port is geographically located several kilometers to the west of Colombo, Sri Lanka. The location will allow a straight southward flight and help save the limited fuel on SSLVs. So, what is the status of new launch port? The Tamil Nadu government has completed the acquisition of over 2,000 acres of land in Kulashekhara. The acquired land has now been handed over to ISRO. Last week, ISRO chairman S. Somnath said it might take up to 2 years for the completion of the construction at the site. The new facility could permit anywhere between 20 to 30 small satellite launch vehicles launches annually. So this will be a great leap for the ISRO. So there are two another article, rise and fall of Byju's, but social reformer Aya Vaikundar and the row sparked by Governor Ravi. So this is not that important, but Article 371 and this launch vehicle is much important. So we'll meet tomorrow for the next day's challenge.